DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Hire for hire. Don't think they've been hired in a long time.
According to an intercepted foul transmission, the pilot who was hired to transport the stone was someone named...
King Cloud Kicker, owner and ace pilot. And I'd like to welcome you to Hire for Hire.
I feel like I know that guy.
A cargo company started by legendary pilot Baloo von Brunwald and his team. Now run by his radical sidekick turned super dependable pilot, me, King Cloud Kicker. Thank you for hiring us to take you higher.
Now this is special.
It's the week of Wednesday, March 3rd, and you're listening to episode 123 of DuckTalks. Two weeks in a row with new episodes of DuckTales to talk about. That's what we're here for. This is DuckTalks, and we are a DuckTales and Disney Afternoon Universe fan podcast. And we're just here to talk about the current series DuckTales as it wraps up premiering, however you want to say it, over on Disney XD and on the Disney Now app and wherever you purchase your digital content. We had a great week, a great episode, a lot of news that broke this week that we can't talk about. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, thanks for joining us, and we hope you'll reach out, let us know that you listened, and if you enjoyed the show, we'd love to hear about that, and let others know about the show, because we're going to be covering Disney Ducks for a while. We don't plan on going away. When DuckTales ends, we may change a little bit. Some of the format may change. We'll be talking about that in the coming weeks. But for now, let's get into some conversation about some DuckTales news and some Duck merch. And I think we have an email or some feedback and stuff like that. So my name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me, I have my pals, Pirate Steven and Josh.
Oh, hey there.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, it's been a fun week having another new episode. I think I started watching it. I get access on Tuesday. We watched it first thing Tuesday morning, and then we watched it again Tuesday evening. And that's when my wife gets an opportunity to watch it. Me and the girls watched it in the morning, and then watched it again today. So I'm 3 viewings in on this one. How about you guys?
It was another one of those decisions on whether or not I stay up till 3 Eastern time to watch it when it gets released, but yeah, I fell asleep and watched it when I woke up in the morning with my family. I've seen it a couple of times since then. It's fantastic, and we'll talk about it.
I've only got to watch it once. I meant to watch it again today, but things didn't work out my way, so I only got 1 viewing, but I did get to see it, so I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, that happens. That's why we moved the recordings to Wednesday. We wanted it to be a little more laid back and not trying to get multiple screenings in the day of for us. And so yeah, that's why we're recording on a Wednesday. Hopefully this will be out tomorrow. Should be out tomorrow since I've said it on the podcast again. And so that everyone can enjoy the podcast if you're into that sort of thing, which you're here, so you probably are. Let's jump into the news. First item, one that we've been checking ourselves on, because although we reported on it in a blog, I've not seen it in a lot of places online other than a couple of tweets. I know Disney Schedule Archive has tweeted about it as well, but there was a promo that came out this week that had a lot of clips for upcoming episodes, including the 2 episodes that we have seen in the last couple of weeks. And, or maybe it was just some of, you know what? I take that back. I saw the clip before I saw the episode, so I didn't know if these scenes were in the episode, and they weren't. So it is clips for the finale and possibly some other stuff. I guess could be some of the clips were from, what's the title of the Scrooge? It's Life and Crimes. Life and Crimes of Scrooge McDuck. We're thinking some of it may be from that. But anyway, fantastic promo for these upcoming episodes. But it also talked about, actually the whole thing was about the build-up to the finale, and that DuckTales will be taking over Disney XD starting Monday the 8th, I believe. Yeah. So Monday, March the 8th at 7:30. So this will begin after the next episode premieres. So Life and Crimes of Scrooge McDuck will premiere on March 8th at 7. And then immediately following that, DuckTales will begin playing on Disney XD non-stop for a week until the finale premieres on Monday, March the 15th. Now, that's our understanding of what is happening, but a bit surprised it's not getting more attention than that this show is taking over this channel for an entire week.
I mean, it goes to show you who actually has Disney XD nowadays, and who streams things. So it just goes to show you that Disney XD might be having its final moments.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, we've seen that Disney XD has been dropped in other countries over the last year, maybe longer. And we also know that DuckTales was like the main ratings for the channel as well. That's been reported from multiple outlets over the last few months. So really cool that they're doing that. I'm looking forward to everyone catching that. I don't have Disney XD directly. I buy the episodes from Amazon so that we can watch them. But yeah, those of you who have Disney XD, be sure to check that out. There's a lot of great episodes out there, and marathons are kind of fun. I would imagine, I wonder if they're just going to, you think they'll be in order, or you think they'll be random to some extent? Maybe they'll have blocks where there's certain character spotlights or something. I don't know. It's a whole week. That's a lot of time. Even if it is 72 episodes. So
I can see them doing it in order and just kind of start over. I mean, it would be kind of crazy to have the pilot episode and then all of a sudden one from season 3, and you're like, oh, Della's here, and she was not, and then the first episode there. So,
wow,
that's a Disney Plus. But yeah, hopefully they know the order and they put it in correctly. I know they had a large Phineas and Ferb marathon, I believe, around the time the movie came out, and it was in complete order. So
okay,
hopefully they do something like that.
Wish they would do some other stations as well, DuckTales marathons. Even though it's on Disney XD, but I think it gave it good coverage to do it on Disney Channel as well, since it used to be for a period on that channel.
I think the show does air on Disney Channel sometimes, doesn't it? I'd have to look into that. I don't really know. We don't follow the cable programming all that closely, but I think it does. With this promo, there were a few clips, and I took screenshots and put in the blog over at our blog at DuckTalks.com over on our website. And there's a few screenshots that we wanted to note. And the first one that I took was of Scrooge talking to Weber Walters, which is a character from the OG DuckTales. And in the background, you can see Glomgold and a shark, which both were promised to us by Frank before the series ended. There would be more Glomgold and more sharks. That looks like Life and Crimes of Scrooge McDuck. I think that's what it's going to be. And then there's some scenes of the Cloud Slayer being chased by a plane that's firing at it. So we're going to get some more action in the air, which, after this week's episode, there's one of the triplets now as a ace pilot, right? So be interesting to see what's going on there. And probably the one image that got the most attention from this promo was the Darkwing Duck and Gizmo Duck with their faces smushed together. No, I'm kidding. Although that had a lot of people on Twitter talking about it, but just because it's an epic, it kind of reminds me of that old Superman and Flash image of them racing towards the cover or towards the person. that I can't remember what issue that is of an Action Comics probably, but it was an inspiration for Tad Stone's on Darkwing Duck, and there's been homages to it before, but it kind of hit me as that sort of thing, and I see it playing out that way. But the real image that I was bringing up is we see Della, June, Dewey, Donald, Webby, and May with what looks like a very buff Egghead standing behind them, and we know that June and May were in the episode description. It listed their voice actresses for this episode, or for the finale episode. So we do have an image of these two characters, and everyone's pointed out the fact that April is the third of Daisy's nieces, and Frank has addressed it somewhat online and said, I think he was responding to Dan Cunningham, talking about it. Dan's been on our podcast a couple of times, and we're ready for Dan to come back. But Frank responded to a post that Dan put on Twitter that it's probably connected to those characters, but probably going to be a spin on it that we're not expecting. And of course, we all have our theories that we're not going to get into again tonight. We're going to save that for after the finale discussion. We have shared our theories with one another, so we can tell you how close we got. But yeah, that's got people talking. And then there's some other images that are really cool, including a group shot with Darkwing and Gizmo Duck and Launchpad and Donald and Della. It was a great promo. It's out there. We've got it on that same blog. In that same blog, our friend Jason, him and his wife teamed up and were able to get great quality from Disney XD and put that over on YouTube for the promo. And we have that in the blog, so you can check that out and enjoy it. So let's move on from there to the spoilers. Now, before you turn this off, we're not going to spoil it for you. We're going to talk about the spoilers, but we're not going to talk about what the spoilers are. Trust me on this.
That's comforting.
I would not spoil this for you. This was kind of a dilemma for us because over the past 72 episodes, or 71, I guess, because we've not had the 72nd yet. But over the last 71 episodes, we have covered episode titles and descriptions when they've leaked online through cable forums, or when they've been officially announced through the highlights, or when they show up on listings like YouTube or Google or anything like that. So we've covered these, and we've never considered this to be spoilers. But when the finale was announced, Frank did go a little further in asking people not to seek out spoilers and not to seek out leaks as they may appear online. And so we wanted to be cautious with that, but at the same time, are episode titles and descriptions leaks or spoilers? So we asked Frank online publicly if he would consider that to be what he was talking about, and he said no. However, with our conversations with people online, we know a lot of people don't want to know these titles or descriptions. So we wanted to make sure that on our blog, we flagged them. They're marked up. People have been messaging me and laughing at how I did these blogs because I made sure that if you read the descriptions or if you read those subtitles, you knowingly did it because you couldn't get any further without knowing that you were going to be reading something that may or may not be considered spoilerish. So what happened is the last adventure is the last 3 episodes of DuckTales Season 3. But those 3 episodes have subtitles. And every 2-parter that DuckTales has had over the last 3 seasons has had subtitles because they want to use it when they run the episodes by themselves later or when people stream it. They want there to be titles, not just part 1, part 2. They also have their own individual title. These 3 episodes have titles. One of the 3, kind of spoilerish, a little bit. I don't really think it was a spoiler. I could see a lot of ways they could still go, but a lot of people felt like it was a spoiler. So we wanted to be cautious with that. We were cautious with that over on the blog. You can check it out if you're looking for it. If not, ignore it. You don't have to read it. If you're online talking about it, please don't just put them out there. And if you are talking about it, even a little bit, make sure you're marking it that it's a spoiler, but don't put those titles out there. People don't need to know that you know what they are. You can talk about it without actually typing the title. The descriptions, however, I will tell you, spoilerish. But it's just like every other description that we've had over the last 3 seasons. It's only a spoiler so far. We could go back and look at a lot of those episode descriptions, and they did not take away from the enjoyment of those episodes. So if you do happen to come across them, I don't think it's going to ruin anything big for you, but they're more spoilerish, and that is a word that I have coined in the last week, or that I've started using. They are more spoilerish than the titles. I think, Pirate, you have said no. You're not reading the subtitles. You're not reading the descriptions. Is that correct?
I said that, and then you sent me something and said, "Hey, can you read this to make sure it's not spoiling?" And it said it didn't. So I was like, you know what?
What?
I think I read something. Yeah, I did. I've read stuff. It's hard.
No. If you go back to it, it says, "Don't read it if you don't want to be spoiled." I was telling you not to read it. Okay, all right. And Josh,
but you know what? Yeah, we're in the media, and we have to know these things to know what to tell people not to read and stuff. So, I'm just excited for the episodes, and I hope not much more will come before the episodes. Maybe we'll probably get a epic trailer, but it's going to be a great 3-episode event. Like we said, it says an hour. It says it's 90 minutes, but it's really reality going to be like 66. I can't wait. I'm gonna stay up till 3:00 and watch that one.
Now, I know I'm off and you're off. Josh, are you off on the 15th?
Yeah, I'm off, and I'm going to be watching it on Disney now because it's going to be available that day.
Maybe we should try to plan something.
Well, that day is going to be real busy for me, so I don't know exactly what time of that day I'm going to do it, but I am want to watch that day at some point. All
right. Well, I'm probably going to call you guys so that we can fanboy over it when it's over.
I think it's kind of like Mandalorian and WandaVision. If you don't watch it in the morning, it's going to be, you have to stay off social media for sure, or something's going to happen. And that's why you got to watch it when it comes out. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in now, where you got to watch it immediately.
It's going to be the first thing in the morning for sure. Kids are out of school. I'm off work. Yep. All right. So that's it for the news. The finale's coming, 15th. March the 15th. We've got one more episode next week on the 8th. And then we've got a DuckTales marathon on into the finale. We're almost there. It is crazy to think that the show's ending. And it's going to go out with a bang. I think it's going to be great. I can't look forward to it. I know a lot of people are worried that it was rushed or this or that. I see those comments online all the time. I don't think it was. I think they knew what they were doing. The way Frank has talked about it, they went into season 3 expecting it to be the end of a trilogy. And then if they got a 4th season, it would have been something new. There would have been a new start for the series.
Yeah, I watched the episode from this week, The Lost Cargo of Cloud Kicker, and it was, I had my jaw drop by how amazing it was, and I started thinking of, man, they are really going out on top. It's like the quarterbacks that win the Super Bowl and then retire because they're at the pinnacle of their career, or really there's nowhere to go from there unless you win multiple Super Bowls like Tom Brady. But when I think about the whole 75 episodes, it's hard to pick your favorite episode. And I know we have a couple of them that really stand out, but I feel like it's even harder to pick your least favorite episode or a bad episode, because and of course you can always say a doofus one, but if you really think about it, everything is such a high level. And you can't say that about most other cartoon series. And I know we all love the Disney Afternoon and worship all of those shows and obsessed, but you can't really think about every one of those series that we watch and go, every episode is just draws me in and I'm entertained by and laugh at. There's a couple of not so good ones in those batches, even the really great shows we love. So, but this one is like every episode.
I enjoy them all. You just kind of dunked on Doofus, but Day of the Only Child is one of my favorite episodes. That might be a top 10 for me. Sticky Nickels is one of the... I laugh so hard every time I think about that. And the umbrella and walnuts. What's he going to do with the umbrella and walnuts? It's just a great episode.
For next episode, we're each going to have our top 10 and see how they compare.
What the plan that,
well, so maybe we do... Let's not do next episode. Let's do that for 125, because 125 will be the finale.
Sure.
Yeah, so which I think is pretty cool. Our episode's going to land on 125. 125 being the finale for the series. Good times.
Did y'all watch the DuckTales Chibi Tales?
I have not.
The first one. Yeah, I watched the first one.
Only like a minute and a half or something like that.
I have no excuse. It literally was on my list of things to do over the weekend, and I must have lost the list. But then I thought about it on Monday, but I didn't have time.
So I did a blog that's out there, and you should read it. But it is this is the first of 3 DuckTales ones, right? So the first one was released this past Friday. I don't even know what days are anymore, but that was the first one, and it was called Mayan Mayhem, and it featured Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Scrooge McDuck, and Donald, and they're going through a Mayan temple, and of course all these weird Indiana Jones stuff type things happen, and the style of it is all really cute. And I know a lot of people were critical when they first saw the designs of it, the big heads, and they didn't realize that's what chibi means, and but then they're like, wait a minute, this is cute. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of people liked it, and it's just a short animated short, but I think it was really well done. And the cool thing is there's 2 more in the DuckTales series of these, and they're premiering on Sundays. So we'll get one this upcoming Sunday, and then another which is, and I'll look up dates for us.
I'm looking right now. March 7th is Diamond Dash. March 7th. And then March 14th is Burrito Quest.
Yeah, and let me read the descriptions of these, because this sounds like I want a full episode of this.
Oh, spoiler warning! This is a description.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's a minute and a half short. You're good. So the first one is called Dime and Dash, and it's March 7th, Sunday, and it's Magica Dispel and Flintheart Glomgold take a break from battling Scrooge as they go head to head to steal his #1 dime. I mean, come on. Everybody's been wanting that in the series the whole time, Flintheart versus Magica. And now we're going to get to see them as this cute chibi style. Probably saying it wrong, but just bear with me. You know what I'm talking about. We get to see them, especially Flintheart, in this style. And I think that's going to be hilarious. What you guys think?
I'm on board for these. Yeah, I was waiting on Josh. I was giving Josh an opportunity. I'm on board with these. I've been excited about these. I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen them yet, and that I didn't think to watch them before we did the podcast episode.
Why don't we do this? I'm going to talk about the third one, and you can watch the first one in that whole time, because they're not long. So the third one is going to be on, and third and final one is going to be on March 14th. And it's called Burrito Quest. And the description is, while Scrooge, Donald, and the triplets relax on vacation, Launchpad and Webby set out on a daring mission to find the world's largest burrito. I mean, come on. A Webby, Launchpad, like, team up episode. That is incredible, and we get to see them in there in a style that is just going to be fantastic. And I like that people are catching on to it that didn't like it before, and that they're applauding. I've even seen and retweeted several fan arts of the DuckTales characters in this art style, and it's good. It's good to see that. The blog I created also talks about, so if people didn't know, other Disney franchises have done these shorts in this style, like Phineas and Ferb, Big Hero 6. There's Halloween Town, Amphibia, and Big City Greens, and all these great shows. I'm sure Owl House will be in there eventually. But all of the shorts those are available in a compilation form of all the ones I just named, and I just threw them in the blog if you want to just watch your heart out of this chibi style of all these great Disney shows. So definitely check that out, and I'll post the new ones in there for DuckTales whenever I see them on YouTube. But
yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched the first. Oh well, I think there's only been one out, right?
Yeah.
There's only one out. Yeah, I was a little surprised because I hadn't seen any of these before. I mean, I didn't really know much of the style or anything. But what kind of caught me off guard is it just there's not like voice acting like we get in the actual show, but you do hear like them going through the environment. So like it's like a I don't know, I hear Donald screaming and you hear like a few other things, but you don't hear them actually talking. But it is still very enjoyable, and it's really fun to watch. And I really look forward to the other ones. I was thinking that the second one came out yet, but I'm a little ahead of myself. So I know I watched the first one, and I just didn't realize that the other ones hadn't been out yet. I know they're coming out like at a
lot of their sounds are like squeak toys whenever something happens to them. But there's a really funny scene where a big spider comes and Donald has like a big exclamation point above his head, and Scrooge takes it and like does like a blow dart from it and attacks the spider. So I thought that was really clever. And it's just cool to see more things happen with this franchise.
Are these supposed to like go together all the
same thing?
Like,
what was that, Josh?
Are these supposed to all go together and like as in one story, or they're all the individual?
I don't necessarily think they are. I just think they're just to be ate up. However, you see the episode, so it one at a time is fine. But I think it's. I hope that what happens at DuckTales is the same thing that happened to Gravity Falls. All the merchandise that we ever want, like for Gravity Falls, came out after the series finale and the show was over. All the books, a lot of merch came out, and all this other stuff came out after the show was over. So I'm hoping the same kind of treatment happens with DuckTales as more people discover the greatness of the show.
I really thought we were going to get more books and stuff like that. Of course, I expected the comic to keep going and not end so soon. So yeah, I would love to see some more merch. That was one of the thoughts I had at the end of Lost Cargo. Was there was a couple of scenes with Baloo, and I was like, man, that would be a cool figure to have. Would be Kit, to have a Kit figure made in the style of DuckTales 2017. And a Baloo.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, obviously.
Baloo.
All right, so Duck merch. Let's get into some merchandise. I did watch that Chibi episode. It was very cute and a lot of fun, and I'll show it to the girls in the morning, and we'll all have a good laugh. First item, we've talked about this, I think, the last 3 weeks in a row, maybe even longer. Funkoverse's Darkwing Duck was released today. Over on Funko's website. Sold out pretty much immediately. I don't really know how that works. There was something about a raffle or you had to get in. Pirate can explain that more. But tomorrow, so earlier today, based on when I think this episode will be released, it was also released on Amazon. And we don't know how many Amazon will have, but hopefully you've already got yours. Pirate, I know you've got more details on this.
Yeah. So as we briefly talked about in the last episode, DuckTales, DuckTalks was recently knighted as Funko ambassadors, which we think is really cool because we've been trying to get in with Funko a lot when we first started. But we're finally friends with them now. And we love them. We love Funko. They know we love them.
They just know how much we love them now.
My wallet knows how much. But seriously, yeah, we're ambassadors with them now, and I was able to talk them into sending me and Josh and Mitch a advanced copy of this Darkwing Duck Funkoverse game. Hopefully, we're gonna try some things out maybe later this month or next month where we do some kind of game night with it. But it is an expansion pack, so. Just to let you know my feelings from when I opened it up and what it looks like and everything. It's an expansion pack. It's not the full version of Funkoverse. If you want that, you're going to have to find another franchise that you like to combine it against. And those usually, the full versions usually go from like anywhere from $20 to $30. If you're lucky, you can find them on sale for $15. But this Darkwing Duck is just an extra character, an extra item that you could put into the Funkoverse world to battle against the other franchises. Like I put in a blog that I did was you can have Darkwing Duck go up against Betty White because Golden Girls is one of the editions of Funkoverse that's very popular, or Darkwing Duck versus the Kool-Aid Man, or Darkwing Duck versus Jaws, or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you get this version of Funkoverse and you bring this to your Funkoverse next game party, and you have Darkwing Duck, you're going to be the coolest person there, for sure. I mean, if you're going for style and cool points, Darkwing's where it's at. But you do get a. I would consider it a mini Funko Pop because it's not like the Pocket Pop keychain size. And it's not a full standard size of the pop. It's in between that, and it's dark. Obviously, Darkwing Duck. He's a vaulted Funko Pop, which means kind of how they retire them, and they kind of like remember when Disney used to put movies in the vault, and you couldn't get them until they unvaulted them, something like that. Everybody might not know what I was just talking about, but the older ones do know. So the pop is really cool. The standard Darkwing Duck, which, like I said, is vaulted, so you can't find anymore. He has his arms at his side, kind of like a superhero pose. And this one has, like most of the Funkoverse minifigs, his hand is like out and looks like he could hold something. And it does hold something because inside the box is an exclusive item of his gas gun, which the Funko Pop probably should have got originally, but you now have Darkwing Duck holding his gas gun in ready to go pose, which I'm not sure how much this release goes for yet. We'll find out. I'm guessing it's either going to be $15 or $20, probably in the $15 side. But I think it's totally worth it just from what I've seen, and this is me as the collector and just measuring it from what I've seen of it in the box and out of the box. Not playing the game yet. We're totally going to do that soon. But I would give it a high grade. It's something that you wouldn't expect to see Darkwing Duck in. And good thing Funko is a huge Darkwing Duck fan. They've had him in their plush series, their action figure series, their mystery mini series, the pop, the Pez, everything Darkwing Duck. So they know what's up. Funko knows what's up. And the other cool thing, so you get a character card. See, I loved it. I was very impressed by this, as you can see. I could talk about it for a while. So they have a character card, and the box art is really cool. I'm not an in-box collector for my Funko Pops. They're all over the place. But you got to keep the box because this is a game pieces as well. So the art on it is extremely cool. Whoever did that art deserves a raise. Like I could give raises out. They deserve a raise. And there's also two other, like the art on the actual character card for the Funkoverse Darkwing Duck has him posed with his arms folded. And I'm like, man, that would make a cool variant Funko Pop if they ever did another Darkwing Duck. And then another part of the box has him with the gas gun again and like holding his cape like he's about to say, let's get dangerous. And I'm like, man, maybe they're going to come out with more. But now I want a cartoon with just Funko Darkwing in it. But like I said, it is cool. It is officially the first 30th anniversary Darkwing Duck merchandise you can get this year. And we know there's a ton coming that we've talked about before. And we're going to continue to talk about it so that everybody knows about it. But it is a cool release for the first quarter of this year if you're talking about what should I get to celebrate Darkwing Duck's 30th anniversary.
Two great brands, Funko and Darkwing Duck together. Again. Yeah, and for those of you who do collect on the card, just looking for merchandise to collect, it is phenomenal looking in the box. I would, for $15, $20, I would not hesitate to add this, even if I weren't planning on playing the game. But we will have coverage of that as well as we begin playing the game. We hope to do something fun, maybe online, with us playing and have 3 Darkwings against each other in this game, if it's possible.
Yeah, and you got to also keep in mind that these are going to be limited. They did sell out, like they said, all the people with the lottery, but they will be putting these online. And so if you're really serious about this, you need to pick it up because it's going to be gone. It's not going to be around very, very long. I can tell you that.
It might be
and it's on Amazon
dispensers.
Yeah, and it's going to be on Amazon as the retailer shared exclusive for the 2021 spring convention. So definitely check the blogs. I know the blog we did on Darkwing Duck Funkoverse before the game was released has been a very popular blog on our website. So we will have the link out there as many places where possible so that people could jump on it as soon as it's available to get. And it's going to be an Amazon. So, got to hit up that Amazon Prime shipping if you can.
And we also want to mention that our link will be an affiliate link. So sometimes people ask how they can support the podcast and support things we do, things that we buy and review, equipment, cost of the website, things like that. So people ask, and we've never really been one to ask people to send us money or stuff like that, or buy our merch, which we do have at TeePublic if you want to check it out, which we made for ourselves. But it's available to you if you want it. We've had some people buy it. But anyway, it is an affiliate link. So that is a way that you can support the podcast and the website without any additional cost to you, because anytime you use that link to purchase items, Amazon actually pays us a little bit for the referral. So check that out. We'll have the blog out as soon as it's listed. Pirate's already got the blog ready to go. He's just waiting on the listing to happen so that we can put it in the blog and get it out. Because like he said, as Funko ambassadors, we already have it and we have a review ready for it. So it's going to be awesome. Should be a fun day tomorrow. One other item in Duck merch, and then we're going to get into the lost cargo of Kit Cloud Kicker. Fantagraphics, however I want to say it, right? Fantagraphics Carl Barks Volume 24 will be released next week. I think Pirate said it was on Tuesday. This is Island in the Sky, and I got to read this collection and to review it. My review will be coming out this weekend, probably Friday, trying for Friday. Another great volume. Really enjoyed these stories. You all know our story if you've been listening to the podcast. Grew up on DuckTales. You guys introduced us to the Duck comics, really pushed us to get into them. We were fortunate enough to be able to partner with Fantagraphics, and they've supported the podcast and our learning about the rich history of these characters and Carl Barks and Don Rosa. And it's been phenomenal. We've enjoyed it. We've got we were talking about it the other day. We've got so many volumes yet to go. in the future. We're talking years worth of these releases. We can't wait for more, and these are great. I was joking with Pirate. I said I think I always get the sci-fi stories because there's some space stories in here, and then also a lot of gyro. So that was really cool. There'll be more in the blog. You can check that out over at DuckTalks.com. It'll probably be out on Friday. That's the plan anyway. All right, and Tuesday, is that the release date for that? Is that when that comes out?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, most books, CDs, and CDs. People don't know what CDs are anymore.
Well, you were going to say Blu-rays, and it's like
books,
people don't do Blu-rays anymore, do they?
Yeah, most new releases of media come out on Tuesday, so that is when this book is expected to come out.
So check it out. We'll have that blog out, and again, that'll be affiliate link as well. So if you're going to buy a hardcover or even a digital copy through Amazon, you can support DuckTalks with that purchase. All right, guys, The Lost Cargo of Kit Cloudkicker. All right, aired on Monday, March the 1st. Let's go through some of the details on the creation of this show. It was written by Colleen Evanson and Tanner Johnson. We have story by Frank Angones, Madison Bateman, Colleen, Christian Magales, Ben Simon, Bob Snow, and Tanner Johnson. And then we have storyboards by Vince Aparo, Kristen Gish, Victoria Harris, and Ben Holm, and also directed by Tanner Johnson. If you listened to our interview with Tanner, you probably saw this episode coming. His love for Tailspin, we were all speculating that he was involved in the Tailspin episode. I think everyone following the show was expecting that. We know that there was rumors about someone on the show pitching an idea for a Tailspin spinoff, and I know a lot of you online were talking about how this felt like a pilot. Frank and people on the show have said every time they've introduced a character, they tried to treat it as if it was a pilot for that character. We felt it with Darkwing. We felt it with Kit and Molly for sure. So this episode I felt it was a great introduction. I think we're going to talk a little bit about the discourse online. I've been kind of surprised by some of the criticism of the episode because I felt like it was a solid episode. I love these characters. Tailspin's always been a favorite of mine. It's like, I say that, and every time I say that, I got to back off because, in all honesty, all of the Disney Afternoon was a favorite. But, I really loved how they continued with these characters, yet I think we have to remember that this is not the Kit Cloudkicker from the original Tailspin cartoon. This is a character created for DuckTales 2017 that is inspired by the character from the original Tailspin cartoon. And so there are some differences, and I know there was some people talking about how he wasn't exactly how they expected. It was kind of the Luke Skywalker thing, right? Where that's not my Luke. That's not who Luke would have been. Kit was more mature than that. I don't know.
That's kind of how I figured he would have grown up to be.
You think he would have really embraced Baloo?
Yeah, I feel like he would totally have been Baloo when he grew up.
Well, there were a few times that he was a little more mature. And I think people expected, some people, mentioned it. And I think it worked great. It felt like Baloo. I even accidentally called him Baloo earlier in this podcast episode. I think, what's his name? Adam Pally did a fabulous job with the voice. I really liked it. It was really fun, lighthearted, very mellow, and that's one of my favorite parts about Baloo, and I like that part about this version of Kit.
It was nice to see that they used the actual artwork and brought in Baloo's artwork into the episode, and it was something that they didn't have to do, but they did. And they had that commercial as they were at his business about being a good delivery service and being an ace pilot and all that. But it was nice to see Baloo in his outfit, and then Kit and Molly when they were young, flying around.
Yeah, I love that shot of Dewey watching that part, and in his eyes, his twinkling eyes, you could see Kit and Molly as they appeared in original Tailspin, and then the lines. If you had the subtitles on, you would see this is special.
Yes, it's all the kid wants. He wants to be special,
not basic.
not basic. And that was fun. I mean, the introduction to the episode, of course, starts with Kit and the Sea Duck, and we get. It was kind of odd. I don't know that I completely caught this until my second viewing, but it starts off in the past with something that had happened a long time ago in the past, and we see. I love when he calls Don Carnage Dan, and he's.
Prepare to be boarded by the Corsair of the Air.
Sorry, Dan. Gonna have to call you back. I'm a little busy at the moment.
You know my name is not Dan. It is I, Don Carnage, who is keeping you busy.
Don't worry. Hire for hire guarantees will get you there in one piece or your money back.
Kid Cloud Kicker, what do I have the pleasure of stealing from you today?
I'm sorry, what's that? I missed your cool speech, I think. Can you get closer and do it again from the beginning, word for word?
I said...
Buckle up! Yeah, I haven't done this since the good old days, but I'm sure it'll work just as well with a giant cargo plane, right?
You see that, and then we cut to, after the title sequence, we cut to... Della and Dewey's flying the Cloud Slayer, or we calling it the Sun Chaser. I never can remember which one's official anymore. But they're in the plane, and Huey's strapped in a little bit worried about what is happening. I doubt he would have taken this flight had he known his brother was going to be flying. But Dewey's learning to fly, and he's doing a very good job. And Huey says there's nothing better than a basic landing or a nice normal landing or something, and Dewey flips out and flips the Cloud Slayer, and shenanigans happen. But it was a really fun way to introduce to bring the DuckTales characters into this episode and to introduce them to the Tailspin world.
Pilot to co-pilot, you ready to land this puppy on your own? Safely and without showboating?
Really? Clipping my wings here, Mom.
See, there's nothing wrong with a nice, basic landing.
Basic? There's nothing basic about Dewey Duck.
Not basic, normal, simple, plain, ordinary.
You're making it worse!
That's how you do it.
And then we see that Della actually is familiar with Kit.
Yeah, it was great to have Della in the episode again. And even though Louis wasn't in the episode, I was happy that I knew that he was at home vegging and getting some time for himself. Because, even if he wasn't in it, he was still making the impact of knowing that he's at home, getting some home time. But yeah, the episode, this is actually, if I'm ranking my season 3 episodes, and I know after the finale this is going to change, but right now I would put it at number 2 for season 3 best episodes.
It's high, for sure. I haven't tried to rank them, but I would definitely put it high. I loved it. I loved all of the air stuff. It felt like a Tailspin story for sure. I loved that we had progression in the Isabella Finch storyline. Did you guys notice that they changed the stone of what was? It looked like a Stonehenge in the season opener, and now it looked like the lion, Bumble Lion. So in Isabella Finch's journal, it changed, which someone online said maybe later in the journal there's another entry for it after she learned more about it and she drew it correctly. Totally works for me and explains it. But it is interesting to see that it changed through the season, what it looked like. But because I had this whole theory about maybe it being the stones used for Castle McDuck. That didn't pan out. It ended up being something totally different. But it was a lot of fun. And speaking of the stone that was, I think that's what it was called. It ends up being the catalyst that fuses, two different kinds of creatures for two times the fun, or whatever the Wuzzles jingle was. I'll insert that right here. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed that. So yeah, that was great seeing those animals. They weren't really characters, but having them in. I'd showed the family the clips of the Wuzzles before we watched it, so that was fun. And I
like that it was Bumble Lion as the statue. I feel like that was a good way to get him in there, because I was wondering if he was like one of the main Wuzzles, and I was wondering if he was going to get in there. I hope that Disney Plus picks up the Wuzzles to put on there soon. It was only 13 episodes, and I'm sure that would get probably as many views as WandaVision. Probably.
I think that they have issues with the Hasbro licensing with that one, because Hasbro actually created them, and then Disney kind of worked out a deal to make a show about them. And that's
why Frank would always call them not the Wuzzle. That's how they would get away with it. I also thought it was funny that Kit's bathroom was called the Woods.
Yes, that was a great joke.
How'd they get away with that? That was good. We can keep it clean and not explain the joke, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I paused it and laughed, and then realized that was a mistake.
Well, and I think I also had some good callbacks to the show with some of the lingo that Kit uses, like he calls Dewey little britches, and he says spin it, and so it's just there's a lot of good callbacks in this that brought back good memories.
Yeah, the hair on my arms stood up a little bit when they started playing the Tailspin theme song towards the end battles, and also when the medley for it, and also when Danger Woman, Molly Cunningham appears. They played the Tailspin theme in the background.
Yeah.
Another cool Easter egg is the Blue had a Hawaiian bobblehead type girl on his plane, and that was by the television that when they watched the commercial for hire.
I'm surprised that Molly wasn't more of a character in this episode. Though she showed up at the end and explained about like where she was and what she was doing now. And I'm hoping that if they have them back again, she'll be more predominant in there.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice wrap up to their story, though, that that Kit gave up cloud kicking because he thought he had outgrown it, and he was kind of embarrassed by it, but he was really good at it, and he tried to become a pilot, which he was really horrible at. And then you've got Dewey coming in, who seems to be a very talented pilot, which we see him balance the stone on the front of the plane while he catches his mom and everything. We see he's a very capable pilot, yet he wanted to be a cloud kicker, and he was really horrible at it. So they both learned the same lesson, that it's okay to embrace what you're good at and not necessarily try to be something you're not. And I think that was the moral to the story, we'll call it. I've seen some discussion online about that as well. I think there's been some criticism of, it was don't try to be better. And I don't think that was the story at all. I don't think that being a pilot or a cloud kicker is necessarily better than the other. I think the lesson was, just be the best you that you can be. And I think Frank ended up responding to that. Someone shared that over on our Discord, and Frank kind of said, this is kind of what we were going for. We might have missed the mark, but I don't think they did. I think they did a good job.
I think people are playing into it too much. They might not have heard the old saying of get a job you want, and it doesn't feel like a job anymore. Let's go back to the Wuzzles, though.
Okay.
The Wuzzles are fun. So I love Rhinoki, and I thought Butterbear I think it's clever because, I'm looking at a picture of Butterbear right now, and she's yellow with her wings and the flower stems for her whatever. Yeah.
They're not even.
So I feel like it was cool that they added those two characters in there for this. And it's cool that the Wuzzles episode was also the Tailspin episode.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun and a lot of character progression and, with Dewey. One thing that kind of stuck out to me, because if you remember in season 2, we had that epic scene of Donald, Della, and the cousins, Gladstone, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, with the hat. You guys help me out. The fourth cousin.
Feathery,
thank you. I don't know what happened there. But you have those four, and then you had, the Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby, and Dewey's like, oh no, am I the Uncle Donald? Remember that scene? But the triplets have changed. If you look at them, you really have Dewey being a pilot, kind of embracing, a little bit of his mom. And then you have Huey, who we have learned has a rage monster within him. So he's more of the Donald. And then you have Louie, who is absolutely a Scrooge. So I think it's interesting. It's not exactly the same as season 2, but I thought it was interesting how we've seen the three triplets kind of grow over this third season. It's going to be good, man. I'm going to hate to see these characters leave. I think there's so much potential. Another Tailspin episode. Man, I'd love to be talking about the fact that we could get another one with, their stunt show and what they get involved in with the pirates and all of that. Oh, we haven't even talked about Don Carnage other than his name earlier in the podcast, but it was great having him back. He's a great character. He's one of my favorite villains on the show. We had that discussion tonight when we watched the episode, Who's Your Favorite Villain? And of course it's Glomgold, but man, all the villains are top tier for me. It's hard for me to rank them.
But when we run out of material, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do ranking shows.
We've said that. We've talked about doing ranking. We've always said once the season's over, when season 1's over, we'll rank all the episodes. And every time we've tried to do it, we're like, no, I don't want to rank them. Pirates all for it, but I have trouble with ranking them. It's like
which one?
Yeah, it's like if I were to try to rank all the MCU films, I would tell you Winter Soldier is 1, and then I don't know where to go from there.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy too. But
he's got his
back
list ready.
to Don Carnage. So the ending of the episode kind of gives you a cliffhanger of Don Carnage having a piece of the stone that was, and he's just sitting on his plane.
Floating.
I feel like he
serenading himself.
Though, like I don't know what happened there.
You feel like what?
He bare hands that stone. So
well, there's nothing else touching it.
Oh, that's it. I can't recall. Wasn't there something sticking out of it, and he was holding what it was sticking out of it, the hook that he shot into it, or was he bare holding it?
Looks like he just picks it up, bare hands.
Oh. Well, thankfully, nothing else came by.
So I don't know where I heard this from. I don't know if you told me, if someone told me this, and this could be spoiler, who knows? But somebody guessed that maybe and this is probably not true, so we can go ahead and say it. What if he falls into the water with it and becomes Liquidator?
That'd be cool.
Would you think he would make a good Liquidator?
No.
Well, if a fish touched it, he would have been a mermaid.
He's going to be something.
He'd have to drop the whole singing thing and then start doing ads, and I just don't know how they'd write that in.
Yeah, and then all the other people were talking about how Nightmare Fuel.
The pirates.
That one pirate. Well, all the pirates, but the pirate that had like hands for the head and everything.
But he was screaming.
And they're all stuck like that. They have to be stuck like that. I don't know how they would stick them.
Yeah, you had the snail, and but our favorites, or our favorite Peg Leg Meg,
Peg Leg Meg, yeah.
made it. She was not turned into anything else. But the same voice actress also does Hattie. I don't remember what her pirate moniker is, but she was the one that was turned into an ant.
Ant, yeah, poor girl.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if the facial expression, I couldn't tell if she was excited about being an ant or not.
There's a lot of screams in that scene.
Yeah.
Like I would like to have seen that recording. Because they were really, I mean, you would think that was a real like horror movie that was filmed the way they were screaming.
Yeah. Well, they turned into some pretty hard. They could have done better as far as turning into cool things.
The combinations
they were stuck with. But yeah, they're stuck like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yep.
Poor pirates.
All right. Next week, Life and Crime, Scrooge McDuck. Man, we get Clomgold, Magica, and Beagles. Louie and Doofus all in one episode. I don't think we're doing video. Pirate's face just contorted. He's not on board with Doofus. I hope we finally get an explanation to the umbrella and walnuts. But I think it's going to be an epic episode leading in, and then this marathon, and then a finale. So a couple more episodes of DuckTalks covering the season. Then we'll do some fun stuff, some wrap-up stuff. We got some stuff in mind that we'd like to do. Probably do those countdowns. We'll sit down, scratch those out, and work out our top 10 lists. We might come up with a few ideas. It's funny. There's been a few weeks that I've sent a message being like, hey, let's do top 3 of this, or let's do top 10 of this. And then a few minutes later, I'm like, no, let's not do that. I don't have time to work it out.
And I'm sending you I already have it on my notepad here.
Oh, sorry.
We did get an email.
Oh yes, the email.
So yeah, if you ever have one, we love getting emails. So, Mitch, you want to tell them where they can email us?
Yes, it's at DuckTalksPod@gmail.com.
So we got a really nice email from a Miss Abigail. That talked about how much she loves our show. We're not going to go into the gooey details of how awesome our show is. But she did like that it was kid-friendly for the little ears, and we keep it clean, which we try to do. We try. But she had a couple questions for us, and I went ahead and picked one of them that we're going to talk about right now. Short question, but what are your family's favorite DuckTales characters? And we're going to start with Josh.
Oh, great. Well, my 2-year-old's watched it a few times, but I don't think she's got a favorite yet.
Well, come on. She's got so many plush that she has favorites of. She doesn't have a favorite character in the show?
Not yet, but I think Webby is probably her favorite, because she is on the kick right now where she loves anybody with a dress on, and so Webby's got a little skirt going on. I think that is her favorite, and but we all have our own favorites. I think in our house, and mine, if I can't pick Darkwing Duck, would have to be Huey. So
Huey's had a lot of growth this season, and I think he was a front runner for me anyway. So yeah. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah. No, I'll go if you want.
Okay.
I remember when the Disney Store plush came out, and we're all run out crazy. We kept checking the stores, and it would never be there.
Yeah.
So I believe my kid's favorite is Dewey, because I had to buy 2 of the Dewey plushes because they couldn't share. But and if it's not Dewey, it's probably my bad influence of talking him into loving Darkwing Duck as much as I do. So that would probably be up there as well. And then as far as my favorite, there's a 3-way tie between Darkwing, Launchpad, and Flintheart Glomgold. And my wife, I would have to say, probably loves Della, because Della is a really cool new character that we got with the show. And she's a mom, so moms go with the moms.
All right, so for my family, I think this is a little bit easy for the girls, because I just recently did I did Kion commissions for their birthdays, and so I had to get this answered for that. And for my youngest, she chose Della and Dewey for her favorite characters, and then for my oldest, she chose Della and Dewey. So, and that was independent. Like, they weren't talking about it together. They both chose those two characters. So I think that's pretty clear that those are their faves. As far as my wife, we've talked about this, and I'm pretty sure she has said Dewey is her favorite character on the show. And I think that checks out. Dewey is one of my favorites. Ben Schwartz, I'm becoming a big Ben Schwartz fan. Sonic the Hedgehog, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that squirrel movie that he was in was really good. I'm liking that dude. I'd say he's high up there. For my favorite character in the series, I really love Launchpad in this series. There's so much that I like about, I really like that character, and I like what they've done with him, and I wish we were getting more. And I wish there was going to be more Launchpad in the future. But yeah, we had the conversation tonight over which is our favorite villains. We actually talked about that, not knowing about this question in the email while we were watching this episode, and I think I already talked about it mostly. But everybody agreed it was between Glomgold and Magica, except my wife, who said it was Doofus. Not sure what that's about. So she'll like the next episode. Hey, before we go, and we're wrapping up, we want to thank Abigail for the email, and for anyone else who wants to send us an email, feel free to. There were other questions that we'll be sure to respond to, and we would love to do that. Just make sure that we know that we can use your email in a future podcast. And also, we've done those voicemails in the past, especially coming up on the finale. If you want to shoot us a voice memo, you can do that. And that'd be cool. What we tell people, just record yourself on your mobile device, just do a memo, and then email that to us. That's the best way to get us a voicemail. We have a voicemail line, but it's complicated. It's just easier to do this. And before we go, I did want to say there's a couple of new Amazon reviews out there, and we really appreciate that. And we had the artist 509, _509, said that they love the podcast a lot, and they always listen to the podcast before and after school. So that was cool. And then we had another one from Colette the Burb, and Colette said it's that DuckTales is one of their all-time favorite shows, and this is their all-time favorite podcast other than another one. So we're one or two. And they said, keep going till DuckTales stops going on hiatus. And also, Boyd is the most adorable character. We can't deny it. Also, who dislikes the character is abysmal. So, and then they said the hiatus goes on and on and on and on and on. Infinity. So thank you for those. We really appreciate those reviews. And comments over the last few years. It makes us want to do it more. And we've got some stuff we're hoping to do coming up in the future. And, we'll talk more about that in upcoming episodes. That's going to be it for this one. We've got to go. So until next time.
Stay Glom Golden and dangerous.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders.